Before he was king, he was already lonely, surrounded by servants, protected by tradition, trapped by duty. And long before the crown rested on his head, he had learned a painful truth. A king is born to rule the world, but never his own life. Today, you will hear the true story of a man raised to command millions, yet denied the right to choose who he loved. A story not about passion at first sight, but about emotional survival. A love that did not begin as rebellion, but became one. And a decision that did not come quickly, but destroyed an empire when it finally arrived. This is the story of the king who waited too long, loved too deeply, and paid for it forever. Welcome to Echoes of Forbidden Love. He was not raised to be happy, he was raised to be correct. From childhood, affection was rationed, emotion was weakness, marriage was strategy. He learned early that love was something ordinary people could afford, not royalty. Every friendship was monitored, every relationship evaluated. Even before he became king, his life belonged to the crown. And slowly, quietly, something inside him starved. By adulthood, the prince was admired, but deeply unsatisfied. He had charm, he had status, he had the future of an empire waiting. But he had never been chosen for who he truly was, only for what he represented. He did not want romance, he wanted recognition, someone who saw the man, not the title. That need would later change history. When he met her, there was no thunder, no scandal, no prophecy. She was older, divorced, unimpressed. She did not bow to him emotionally. She did not need him. And for the first time in his life, that frightened and comforted him. She spoke honestly. She laughed freely. She challenged him, not as a subject, but as an equal.
This is where history often lies. He did not choose her because of passion. He chose her because she made him feel human. With her, he was not performing, not obeying, not pretending. She listened. She understood his resentment toward duty. She gave him something the throne never had, emotional safety. And once a man starved of freedom tastes it, it becomes impossible to forget. At first, the palace ignored it. Then they monitored it. Then they feared it. Because she was unacceptable. Not because she was evil, but because she was uncontrollable. A divorced woman had no place beside the crown, and suddenly the king was no longer a symbol, he was a problem. When he became king, the walls closed in. The relationship was no longer private. Every choice became political. Church leaders warned him. Ministers threatened resignation. The public was divided. He was told gently, then firmly, "You may be king, but you may not love her." And for the first time, he understood the true cost of the crown. This is where suspense lived. He did not decide quickly. He hesitated. He negotiated. He hoped for compromise. Weeks passed, then months. The empire waited, and inside him, two identities fought: the boy raised for duty and the man desperate for freedom. When he finally spoke, it was not dramatic. It was exhausted. He said he could not rule without the woman he loved, not because he worshipped her, but because without her, he would disappear. And so, he abdicated, not in rebellion, but in surrender. They married, but they paid. Exile, surveillance, isolation. He lost power forever. She carried the blame forever. History never forgave them fully. And yet they stayed together, not because it was easy, but because it was chosen. This is not a story about romance. It is a story about what happens when a man raised without choice finally claims one, and how dangerous that can be to systems built on obedience. If this story stayed with you, if it made you uncomfortable, then its echo is still alive. Like this video if you felt the weight of his choice. Comment, was he brave or selfish? Subscribe to Echoes of Forbidden Love. Because some love stories don't end in happiness, they end in history. Until next time.